Did that get your attention? It did. I would like to welcome everyone to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola. Our opening words, believe it or not, are actually from the King James Bible. Matthew 7, 3 through 5. And you can read it for yourself. How wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote from out of your eye, and behold, there is a beam in your own eye? And how is it that we don't even notice the great big beams that are in our eyes? To us, they've always been present. In fact, our blindness to our own biases begins very early in life. We develop preferences, and they become ingrained. How early do you recognize that a baby will look at his mother's face and smile and become extremely anxious if he looks at somebody else's face that's holding him and he doesn't know them? You can tell that baby has a bias toward his mother. We understand this and it makes sense. And as babies become more mature, and even as adults, they make and maintain biases in favor of associations and familiarity or strangeness. So when does this become a problem? It becomes a problem when we want to be loving and accepting of others. We need to recognize the biases that are useful and those that create barriers. We need to recognize and cast out those beams of negative unconscious bias that are in our eyes so that we can recognize the beauty and goodness of life and in others. Today's service is brought to us courtesy of the Mess Hall and the Smithsonian, and will help us to understand how very prevalent and powerful our unconscious biases are. Perhaps then we will be more able to cast them out and meet others with the openness and acceptance we need in creating our beloved community. The write-up on the Mess Hall webpage says that they are about inspiring curiosity and creative problem solving through the exploration of math, engineering, science, and stuff. Today I think we have science and stuff. It should be interesting. It is our custom on the fifth Sunday of months that have 5 Sundays to give the offering plate to a local not-for-profit organization. Well, as you know, December had, maybe you didn't notice, but it had 5 Sundays. But by golly, we had a rapping good time on that 5th Sunday, but we didn't recognize a not-for-profit. Today, our offering will go to the Mess Hall. And let's see, what's next? All right. Let's see. Krista, would you light the chalice for me? Okay. We light this chalice for the rightness of truth. We light this chalice for the warmth of kindness. We light this chalice for the light of knowledge. Please stand as you are willing and able, and we will say together our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church and servants its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now you may remain standing for our opening hymn, number 168, one more step.
Thank you.
You may be seated. At this time, we will be taking up the offering. Please be generous, as you know where it's going. And we will have music by Mike. And now we come to the reason why we have these tables and these things on our tables. We have with us Nicole Dickson, who is from the mess hall, who will be explaining all of this in just a minute. She has a BA in theater from the University of West Florida and an extensive background in public speaking, education, and performance. While at UWF, Nicole received the OUR research grant to create a camp-based drama program for UWF theater, for the UWF theater department. Before working for the mess hall, Nicole worked as an education specialist for Nauticus, which is a maritime and science museum, creating curriculum and performing various science shows with their outreach program. Locally, Nicole runs her own professional theater company, the Improbable Cause Mystery Theater. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind. All right, just put that right there, and then we're going to put this one over here, but I'm going to move it up a little bit. No, I'm not. It's just going to be like that. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. Hello. Let me turn this on so you all can hear me a little better, although I can project. And yeah, there we go. All right. So, as was mentioned, my name is Nicole Dickson. I am from the Pensacola MESS Hall. The Pensacola MESS Hall is an interactive science museum for children and families, and we like to stress the families part because we feel at the MESS Hall that science is for everyone, no matter how old you are. Our science is interactive, as you will see today, and hands-on. My boss created the MESS Hall because she wanted to make science accessible for everyone. Yes?
There's something wrong with the microphone. Your voice is blurred. It's muffled.
Oh. Probably one of my collars. Yes. The only one I have. Let's see. Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. So my boss wanted to make science accessible for everyone. And so she created the mess hall that has hands-on science. And I like to call it kitchen science because it's science that you can do every day in your homes. You'll see on our tables a lot of things that will probably look familiar, things that you have at home or things that you can make at home. And so that's what we do with science. MESS stands for Math, Engineering, Science, and Stuff, as you heard earlier. And the stuff is interesting. And the reason we say stuff is because at the Mess Hall, as I mentioned, we have a lot of hands-on science, we have a lot of materials, so we use a lot of stuff. The other reason we say stuff, though, is because the Mess Hall, while we do have math, engineering, and science, we have philosophy, we talk about history, we talk about a lot of other disciplines that aren't necessarily involved in the hard sciences. And so we like to incorporate stuff. And finally, the reason we say stuff is a long time ago, a very famous scientist named Thomas Edison. What did Thomas Edison famously invent? The light bulb, that's right. And Thomas Edison said, in order to create or invent anything, all you need is a big imagination and a lot of junk. But we don't say junk at the Mess Hall, we say stuff. There you go, beautiful. All right, so what we're going to do today is we are going to do our show called What is a Sandwich? So let me just pull up this chair for a minute here. Sandwich chair. All right, so what is a sandwich? Now, how many of you all feel confident you know what a sandwich is? Raise your hands. If you feel confident, you know. Okay? Raise your hands if you do not feel confident if you know what a sandwich is. Okay? Raise your hands if you have no idea what a sandwich is. You're confused at this point. Go ahead, raise your hands. That's okay. Because it is okay to not know in science. And that is why we do experimentation and communication. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split the congregation into two separate groups. So I need this group. What's your name, ma'am? Trista? Trista, you're going to be my helper, Trista. Come here. All right, Trista, so what you are going to do is you are going to take those, and you are going to show this side of the congregation and ask them if they think it's a sandwich or not a sandwich. They don't get to debate. It's a show of hands, democratic. Because the democratic process, or voting is a democratic process that always works. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to do it on this side, and then we'll get this one. All right, we're good. All right, on this show, I'm going to show you, on this side, rather, I'm going to show you a series of pictures, and you're going to tell me by show of hands if it's a sandwich or not. Am I doing that? I don't know.
To your device.
Okay, here we go, on this side. Sandwich or not sandwich? If you pick the sandwich, raise your hand. The top of okay? Hands down. If you do not think it's a sandwich, raise your hand. Quesadilla. If you think it's a sandwich, raise your hand. Okay? Hands down. If you do not think quesadilla is a sandwich, raise your hand. Ooh, we're tied. One more time. If you do think quesadilla is a sandwich, raise your hands. peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly. Avocados. Avocados is the same. Lasagna. Lasagna is the same as for your hand. Pizza. Pizza is the same as for your hand. Banh mi. Do you know what banh mi is? Banh mi is the same as raise your hand. Thank you very much. I'm going to take these. Thank you very much. All right, and now you come here. What's your name, sir? Good, right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game show. What is a sandwich? Fantastic. We have two teams competing in our game show. What is a sandwich? Over here we have the yellow team. Let's give it up for the yellow team. Here we have Team Black. Let's give it up for Team Black. Let's go to the board. So, Team Black, what did you decide was a sandwich? We have a very inclusive group over here with Team Black. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 choices of sandwich. Yellow team, a bit more discerning. All right, let's go to Team Black. Team Black decided a quesadilla was a sandwich. A hot dog was a sandwich. An Oreo was a sandwich. A sub was a sandwich. Oh no! A PB&J was a sandwich, and a banh mi was a sandwich, and our mystery item, which is now on the floor. Our mystery item is a gyro. All right, so Team Black has decided quesadilla, hot dog, Oreo, sub, PB&J, and banh mi. Let's see what Team Yellow has decided. Team Yellow has gone with a sub. We have some agreement there. Team Yellow has decided on PB&J as well. Oh no. PB&J as well. Oreo is a sandwich. Gyro is a sandwich. And finally, a banh mi, also a sandwich on Team Yellow. So, let's see where our teams agree. So, our teams agree that an Oreo is a sandwich. Our teams agree that a sub is a sandwich. Our teams agree that a gyro is a sandwich. Our teams do not agree on hot dog. Our teams do not agree on quesadilla. Our team agree on PB&J. And our team agrees on banh mi. All right. So these things are where we agree on a sandwich. Where we do not agree is both hot dog and quesadilla. How do we feel about this? Well, the majority of the group believes that these things qualify as sandwiches. Now, this is great, but we have some debate. We have some debate on quesadilla and hot dog. So what do we do? Yes?
You didn't define what a sandwich was.
You are correct, sir, and we are going to get to that. And that is what I was just about to say. So, when we have a debate, what do we need? Well, now we need to have a definition. So now we're going to go to the judge. All right, thank you very much, sir. Tell me your name.
Brett Ramsey.
Brett Ramsey, a round of applause for Brett Ramsey, our judge. All right, Brett Ramsey was given a series of definitions that he had to choose from. Brett Ramsey has chosen the following definition for sandwich. An item of food consisting consisting of 2 pieces of bread with meat, cheese, or other filling in between them. Brett Ramsey has indeed gone with the FDA's definition of sandwich. Great job, Brett Ramsey. All right, a round of applause for Brett. Fantastic job. So now, let's look at our definition and see what qualifies. So an item of food, that's a good start, consisting of 2 pieces of bread with meat, cheese, or other filling in between them. So, does gyro qualify?
Oh,
No, it does not.
What? It's not a bread?
There goes, it's not 2 pieces, it's 1. Does PB&J qualify? Yes. Does banh mi qualify?
Yes.
It looks like a split roll. So, I would say banh mi does not qualify in this case because it's a
Unless the
split roll.
bread breaks.
The sub qualify. In this particular picture, it does. It's 2 pieces. All right. We will agree on that. So we have PB&J, sub, and what was it? And that's it. PB&J, sub. Oh, now here we go. Oreo. Does Oreo count? No, because it is not bread.
But what about the quesadilla? Is that not bread?
Quesadilla is bread, but if we look here, it's a folded over tortilla.
Oh, that's a folded one. Oh, all
So
right.
quesadilla is out. What else is out? Hot dog. Gone. So, not that inclusive. A little inclusive, not ridiculously inclusive. So, now, let's look at our other
Can I
definition.
make some?
What?
In quesadilla, you can use 2 tortillas with cheese on it, and then you do have 2. So.
I will agree. I will agree with that statement that a quesadilla can be made with 2 pieces of tortilla. And we will count the tortilla as bread, so yes, quesadilla. All right, now, let's look at the USDA's definition of sandwich. The USDA only cares about meat, poultry, and eggs. That's it. That's all they care about. So their definition of sandwich is a sandwich is meat between 2 slices of bread.
So there's no such thing as a cheese sandwich. Tell my
There is
mother.
no such thing as a cheese sandwich according to the USDA. Or a PB&J. And that, or an egg sandwich. Well, an egg sandwich might count because it's poultry, or because it's eggs. Right. But yeah, so that's all the USDA cares about. And that's because the USDA regulates meat, poultry, and eggs. So they don't care about cheese or protein or other things. And that's why the FDA had to come in with their definition of sandwich. Wait for it, it gets better. This, unfortunately, I'm a bit embarrassed to say, is the mess hall's definition of sandwich. The definition that we came up with is very inclusive, and it is 2 pieces of something with something different in between. Which is great, until you figure out that this is now a sandwich.
Well, it's not a food sandwich, but it sure is.
This is now a sandwich. A little bit off.
It's a sandwich.
So, that was our definition. Now, we will go to the Oxford English Dictionary's definition of sandwich. Because Merriam-Webster and Oxford English Dictionary have 2 separate definitions. This is the Oxford English Dictionary definition of sandwich. 2 pieces of bread, or slices, sorry, 2 or more slices of bread, or a split roll, having filling in between. So according to Oxford English, what now goes back on the table? Hot dog. Welcome back, hot dog. And banh mi. Euro comes back. Good job.
Does the euro come back?
Yeah, taco is deal right there.
It's a split roll.
It's not split. A euro is a flat piece of thing that's.
I'm sorry, you are correct. Never mind.
But
Euro
the
does not
taco's
come
back in.
But did we do this? Why? Why does this associate with bias? How does this associate with bias? Now, this gets interesting. At this point, we are talking about a lot of different things, and we are trying to categorize what is a sandwich. So in science, we care a lot about categorization. Bias comes about when we bring prejudice into categorization or defining something. So when we talk about categorization, one of the things that happened recently, not too recently, 10 years ago or so, 5 years ago, was how many of us, okay, this will be fun. How many of us learned that there are 9 planets? Raise your hand if you learned that there were 9 planets. Good, hands down. Raise your hands if you did not learn that there were 9 planets. You learned there were 8 planets. Okay? You, right there in the headband. What happened? Why did we go from 9 planets to 8 planets? Pluto's not a planet? Did Pluto blow up? What happened to Pluto?
It's a gas giant.
It's a gas giant? So what? That's not. It's close. Pluto's is very hard. Not considered one of the gas giants, but I like where you're going with this. Pluto got reclassified as a dwarf planet. So Pluto was no longer considered a planet because it didn't fit the categorizations of what we decided was a planet anymore, because we defined it differently. So on what is a sandwich, we can feel about sandwiches any way we want. We can have very passionate opinions on whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich. And there are people who have passionate opinions on whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich. But what is the one definition that allows it to be a sandwich? The Oxford English Dictionary definition. So this is, when we started this show, and we started doing research into this, we learned a lot. We were like, there are 6 different definitions of sandwich. 6. Does that make it hard to categorize what a sandwich is? 100% it makes it hard to categorize what a sandwich is. And it really depends on what definition you're going to go with. And so that's our show. So now what we have for you all are these little stations. And I'll explain the stations real quick. So what we did was we had a exhibit come to the museum this summer from the Smithsonian called The Bias in Science. And how many of you all were able to see that exhibit? Yeah. It was a fantastic exhibit. And it really talked about the science behind bias, why we have bias, why in some ways bias is necessary and good, and in other ways bias can be detrimental for us. So what I had to do was go into schools and camps and teach kids about bias. And that's a difficult thing to do. And so what we decided to do was to do this show, which gives us the idea behind bias without hitting somebody over the head with the concept. And it's very simple and everyone can understand it. And then we have stations that you all will see that have to do with classification, identification, and perception. And that's what all of these stations have to do with. So, I'm going to talk about the stations real quick. Over here, we have pattern block symbols. Pattern block symbols is very simple. Oh, and hinge mirror. Hinge mirror is where you're going to take a mirror like this, and you're going to put a pattern block in front of it, like that. And then you're going to notice when you put your pattern block in front of your hinge mirror, even though it's one pattern block here, it becomes 3 pattern blocks. And if you move the mirror, it changes what happens to the pattern block. You see that? Okay. So we're going to be doing that. Everything we do with the mess hall has to involve some sort of math, engineering, or science. And so the reason we did pattern blocks here with these mirrors is because we are challenging your have 5 different trunks. So you can have like a circle trunk and like a square trunk, or excuse me, a rectangle trunk, and you're going to put them in categories. So I'm going to put all the circles together, and I'm going to put all the squares together. And then once I do my categories, then I'm going to look at like their fingers, and then I'm going to go, oh, okay, so that first finger needs to go over here, and that second finger needs to go over here, and I'm going to reclassify. This is actually how the periodic table of elements works. And so you'll notice, if you do this all the way through, that you can take one of these guys out, look at your friend, and say, what goes there? And they can tell you what's supposed to go there, because it fits a pattern. And that's how when scientists were working on the periodic table of elements, when they were missing an element, they would be able to figure out what it was they were missing. So it's the same
So
thing.
they're all different. Are we supposed to get it independently, or all different colors all go together?
No, you're supposed to do it independently. So you'll be doing red, you'll do yellow, you'll do green. So they don't like all go together. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so that's what you guys will be doing here. Over here, you have 3 different boxes and shapes. So this one shape can go into more than one box. Obviously, it can go there, as you guys see. But it can go into a bunch of different things. So this shows you that one shape can go into many different holes. So put that there. All right, hello everyone. Thank you all so much. Unfortunately, science can last forever, but not today. So we're going to have to close up shop for the mess hall, and we invite you all to come see us at the mess hall. The mess hall, as I said, is an interactive science museum for families, and we are located at what are we located at? We're located on Wright Street, 418 East Wright Street. We're basically right behind the Grand Hotel. So if you go to the Grand Hotel and you turn and look across the street, our building is right there. And we invite you to come. A lot of the things that you saw today, you would be able to do at the mess hall. We have lots of other hands-on science. And it's a really good way to spend time with your loved ones and your family. Doing science together. So thank you all so much for your time. It was a lovely service. You all are such a beautiful congregation, and I feel very blessed to have been here and sharing our message with you all today. And thank you so much for the generous donation to the mess hall. We definitely appreciate you. All right, so I'm going to be going around trying not to disturb you all, but I'm going to get my stuff cleaned up and put in the boxes so you all can get your tables put up and have your time to fellowship with each other. Thank you so much to Paula for bringing us here today. A round of applause for Paula. All right, and if you have any questions, you can see me on the way out. Thank you so much, Paula. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Paula. Oh,
Thank you. Yeah. I have one announcement. I'd like your attention just a minute. I have an announcement. The new member group that was, the new member and prospective new member group that was going to meet in here is actually going to meet in the library. So when you get through here and get your coffee or whatever, head to the library if you're in that group. Otherwise, come fellowship in here with the tree and the tables and all of that. Okay, now, I would like for us to sing our closing hymn, which is number 318, We Would Be One. I would like for us to sing ourselves out to get coffee and then reassemble wherever you're supposed to go. So we will sing. Go ahead.